My name is Bharat, and I am a product manager at Coda, now part of Grammarly. I've been at Coda about 5 years, and in those 5 years, I've worn multiple hats. I started out as a software engineer. In that time, I built out our Figma integration, which gave me the chance to come here last year and talk a little bit about how Coda and Figma interact together. I'm super excited to be back here today to show you how that work has evolved in the ever-changing landscape that is AI. And in that endeavor, I'm joined by my great friend and colleague, Noah.
Thanks, Bharat. Hey, everyone. I am Noah. I'm the head of product marketing for Coda Brain. I also have been at Coda for about 5 years. Bharat and I joined many years ago together. And I actually also started as an engineer, so I have also worn many hats over the years. And between the both of us, we've seen a whole lot of challenges. So let's dive right in. To start with, let's just think about why are we here and what we're going to do today.
So we'll walk you through the sequence one by one. We're going to give you a little bit of an overview of Coda and how you can use it to collaborate with your team. We're then going to dive into how Coda and Figma can be used together and why they work so well. Then we're going to drill in specifically to what you came here for, design systems, and why design systems built on Coda and Figma together can succeed. Finally, we'll show you the power-ups of AI. They help you extract that value and really drive adoption for your design system with Coda Brain. I'll hand off to Noah.
OK, let's step back and just set the framework. Why are we here? Who are we? Who is Coda? Why are we talking to you? So we've worked on a lot of different teams, on a lot of different functions, and with thousands of customers at this point. And across all of those experiences, those teams, those customers, we've seen a common set of challenges. So maybe some of these questions feel familiar to you. You know, is that the most updated version? Gosh, I just have too many tabs open. I just can't find the thing I'm looking for. And is this the right font? Is that the font we use? These are questions we hear all the time. It doesn't really matter what function we're working with, which company. People are working across dozens or hundreds of tools. Every function has the tools they use and where they keep their information, and every other function and team that they collaborate with has their information and their processes in a different place. And so our goal with Coda is to try and build a central place for everyone to do their work. We're trying to build a connecting fabric. So what is Coda? Well, Coda is an all-in-one productivity software. We're trying to give teams one central place that they can do their work, no matter what that work is. That starts really simple with the flexibility of documents, an open writing surface where you can start taking notes, you can write a project proposal, turn it into a PRD, and share it with your team. Then we layer on structured capabilities, things like spreadsheets, tables, databases. You can build powerful trackers to track your projects and tasks, or launch milestones. We have powerful application-like building blocks, things like buttons, automations, and all sorts of components to build custom applications that work well for your team. And a key part of that is we integrate with pretty much every tool you can imagine, hundreds and hundreds of integrations. And so we try and be that connecting fabric between all of your disparate tools. And finally, of course, there is AI throughout all of this. So we'll talk about that in much more detail as we jump in, but this is the framework. We're trying to build a central place for teams to do their work that connects the fabric of everywhere that their information lives and the systems and processes that their teams use.
Now, Noah mentioned that Coda is that central platform where your team can do your work. The key thing to note here is that this is not a walled-off ecosystem. It's not one that brings you in and keeps you there. It's one that works with all the different tools you might use. Now, one of those tools is Figma, especially for design teams. Now, Figma and Coda integrate really well together. Coda's got hundreds of integrations. Figma is one of the deepest ones. And I'm going to show you 3 different ways in which we integrate with Figma, and I'll show you 3 different use cases of those. So I'll start off with the Figma embed. This is a very simple use case that helps with cross-functional communication. The classic example is that you'll have a project with the design team building mocks in Figma, but that project often goes along with a product brief, a PRD, documentation. And often those things have to be shared with other stakeholders. It's not just product, it's not just design, there's engineering, there's often brand, marketing, various stakeholders involved. So with the Figma embed, you can actually pull your Figma mocks and put them right inside of your Coda document, which is like the space for your team. You can actually make out a whole page where design can come in and edit directly from Coda, or you can put in just a small mock right underneath your product brief, so you have the context in the same place. People can add comments and integrate right there. The next one that's really useful is the FigJam widget. Now, FigJam is a great tool for real-time collaboration and brainstorms, but often when you run a brainstorm, there's an action that people often leave on the table, which is taking that brainstorm, capturing the insights, and making it an actionable workflow for the future. This particular integration saves me so much time. What it does is essentially, it takes the work that you've done in a real-time brainstorm and pulls it in the click of a single button into a Coda doc in the form of a database. So here's the use case. Recently, we ran a team retro as a way to do our Q2 planning. In the team retro, we put a bunch of different prompts inside of FigJam, asking folks to say, what resonated well, what didn't work well, what would you change? They put sticky notes, and different people added votes on it by adding pluses and hearts and other emojis. Now, in one click of a button, I was actually able to pull that right into a table in Coda, which then I could use for further analysis. I was able to group the different sentiments, was able to then have people vote on it, comment, and collaborate, and that became a part of our team documentation going forward. Integration number 3 is the Figma pack. Let's talk a little bit about what packs are. Packs are Coda's integration framework that allow you to both pull content and push content into other ecosystems. We have over 600 of them. And the Figma pack in specific is one of my favorites. It does everything from pulling in a list of Figma files to the comments on those files and the Figma variables and styles that are stored in Figma. I've loved the ability to be able to pull in comments off a Figma file and then be able to segment those and figure out what are the most common themes and then make use of those in my product docs. So now that we've seen how Figma and Coda can integrate, let's talk a bit about what that enables. All of these things together enable building your design system in Coda. Why does that work, though? Let's take a step back to understand why do design teams build design systems in the first place. Design systems are really useful to create a shared framework, a shared language, a set of principles and guidelines that eventually output a set of components, styles, and variables that you can use to then build your tools. Now, the problem often is that we focus on this output a lot, which is the what. That particular output gets stored in Figma. You get to make your different variables, your styles, your components, but there's a lot of why and how that gets done in various different places. Often you'll find that the why is the documentation, the reasoning that you made certain design decisions. You'll find teams using Google Docs and Confluence and often a bunch of different Slack threads where there's communication about the why, and that gets lost. You'll often find tracking on the how, things like Jira or even GitHub, where people are communicating about the work and how to do it. All of these disparate sources result in an ecosystem that is not connected and limits accessibility. Any of you who have tried to implement a design system will know that one of the major challenges with design systems is getting adoption, not just from your design team, but also from all the stakeholders, the engineers, the brand team, the product team, etc. And that's where having your design system in Coda is so powerful. The integrations help bring in all the right data, push it out to the right spots, and keep all the stakeholders informed. So let's talk a little bit about what kind of stuff may fit in this design system. So you'll have a design system template that we've built that you can reuse. A part of that would be a request flow. So your external stakeholders can request to make different changes to the design system. You'll also find a few other things, including a change log. Now, this can be customized for your team. You can customize it to look like a list, or you can have it filtered for specific views. So if you're only interested in a change log of perhaps the logos, you can actually filter it right there and see it in one place. And we also have a way to manage variables directly in Coda. What it does here is it kind of automates some of the tedious processes. Like if you want to change a whole palette all at once, you can automate that in one step. You can make changes in Figma and they'll reflect in Coda, but you can also make changes in Coda and they'll push out to Figma directly.
Okay, so we have awesome data, we have beautiful systems, but our designers and our engineers are still overwhelmed. So what gives? We've done all this work to aggregate information, to build the right tools, and it still doesn't feel like it's enough. And this is where we think AI is here to help, and specifically Coda Brain. So what is Coda Brain and how can it help with all of this? Well, Coda Brain is our AI tool. We like to think of it as your team's favorite know-it-all. So it's a chat interface. It's an open chat box that probably most of you are familiar with at this point, but it understands your company, it understands you, and it understands how to help you do your job. So let's look at some of the specifics. First of all, I think the reflection we have here is that most AI systems are not context aware. They don't understand the information about your company and all your internal data. And in your company, we have this divide On one side of the house, we have all the knowledge across all of our different tools. That's both in what's in Figma, but all the context around it, as Bharat was mentioning. We have context in Google Drive, we have context in Slack, we have context in Confluence, and all of these different sources don't connect to each other. And on the other side of the house, we have the tools where work actually gets done, where we're sending each other messages, where we're creating updates, where the engineers are doing their job day to day. And we think that that knowledge is deeply disconnected from the action that actually happens to push your company forward. And we think that Coder Brain and AI is rightly suited to bring those two sides together and to help make your job easier. Okay, how does that actually work in practice? Well, let's talk about some of the details. The first part is understanding your company. As I said, there's a million AI tools out there, but most of them don't understand anything about you or anything about your company. And so what we do is we ingest all of the data from your important company sources, whether that's in Google Drive, Slack, Jira, Confluence, Figma, it doesn't matter. We have hundreds of those packs that Bharat described to bring that data to a central place, to build that company brain. And this is also an open ecosystem. So if there isn't a pack that looks like what you want, you can build your own, whether that's for a third-party tool that we don't have an integration for, or an internal proprietary system. You can bring all of that data into Coder Brain. And we do the work to keep that information up to date. So when you make changes in an external system, we sync those changes in, and when you're working with Coder Brain, it always has the most up-to-date information. Now, obviously, the next question we get here is, how do we keep this secure? Bringing everything into one place can often feel pretty scary. And so what we do here is we understand not only the data, but also the permissions on that data. And so the technology powering this is something called RAG, which you might be familiar with. It stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. That's some fancy words that really mean we never train AI systems on your data. Instead, every time a user asks a question, we go fetch data based on their permissions. We go find context that they have access to, and we do that in real time. And that means that information can never leak from one user to another when they shouldn't have access, or from one company to another. And so we can guarantee that users will never get access to information that they shouldn't have access to. And this means you can very quickly find information. You can search for a document or a piece of information you know exists, or even ask questions from the content within those sources that you have access to. And very importantly, we also give you a way to verify the answers that you're getting. I think in the world of consumer AI, at this point, we're kind of all used to the idea of hallucinations, the idea that AI doesn't always get it right. Sometimes that's even funny, maybe helpful if you're doing creative writing. But in the context of a business, that doesn't work. You have to be able to trust the answers you get from AI systems. And so every time you get an answer from Coder Brain, you see exactly the sources that it is basing that answer off of. And you can click directly into the source and verify it for yourself. So we think it's very important not only to have the right information with the right permissions, but also for this not to feel like a black box. It should be something that users can understand and work with just like you might a colleague. Okay, so we have all of this data, we have the permissions correct, we have data syncing from all your company sources. How does this actually help? What does this mean for a designer? What does this mean for an engineer? How is this actually going to impact your design system? Well, we could talk about this all day long, but we thought the best way to do this was just to give you a little bit of a demo. So we're going to do some role play here. I'm going to pretend I am a product marketer, big surprise, and Bharat is going to pretend to be an engineer. And we'll show you what this might look like. So let's go to the demo. Okay. So Open 2, a product marketer looking at the website. We have this really beautiful website that I'm sure all of the designers in the room will very much appreciate. Great colors, great fonts. It's really cream of the crop here, but something seems wrong about this to me. That logo, it doesn't match the font color. I feel like that can't be right. I'm going to go ask one of our engineers to look into this for me.
So I take a look, and I look at the hex code, and I'm like, I can't really understand what this corresponds to. I'm not totally sure what the right version is. I can't speak hex codes, but I do believe we have a design system. So I think, why don't I ask the design system? And I can do that directly via Coder Brain. So I go ahead and ask my question in English, and I see that Coder Brain starts to actually then index through my data. It correctly picks the source, that's Figma, and it actually finds a variable called color, or logo. And it gives me some context. It tells me that we have two different logos, in fact. One is logo current, and one is the logo legacy. Now, I'm curious to understand more about this, so I click into the source, and it actually takes me directly into my Figma variables, where I can get a bit more context. Now, I would love to understand why we made the decision when we made it. I think I was actually off work when we did this, and so I would love to understand what else changed. I'm going to be making this change in the code, and I want to make sure to get it right. So I go ahead and ask, why did we make this change? And now remember, aside from Figma, Coder Brain is connected to various sources, connected to my Confluence, my Google Docs, my Coda. And in this case, it starts to index all over. And it actually finds something inside of Google Docs. Now, my second question here was, what other change did we make? Because I want to make sure to actually get those changes right. So it starts to pull in content again. And as it indexes, it selects the right place. It figures out that fonts were updated, a color palette. There's a whole stylistic change here. Now, again, I'm still worried that this could be an hallucination. I don't know when this file was created. So I go ahead and click in. And it actually shows me that we actually made that logo change, which is very clear now to me. Now I can make that change.
And cut back to me, very happy product marketer. I get to go look at the website because my engineer had easy access to all the information that he needed to very quickly verify. And so now our website is even more beautiful with an electric blue logo. Well, end scene. The rest is Coda Brain history. So that's the demo. This is what we think it feels like to live in an AI native ecosystem. It doesn't have to mean giant changes to everything you do. What it does mean is giving everyone in your company easy, reliable, safe, consistent access to the information that you already have, and to try and remove some of the grunt work that we see today, moving information from one company to another, one team to another, one system to another.
Now, as we're wrapping up, I'd love to point you to a few different resources. If you have your phones out, you can scan this QR code. It'll give you a bit more context on how you can get started today with Coda and Figma. That aside, please stop by. We have a booth right over that way. It's the pink booth saying Coda and Grammarly. Stop by, get some swag. We got stickers. And then come by and ask us about our templates. We'd love to show you. If you have any other questions, you can find Noah or me. Once again, I'm Bharat, and it's been a pleasure to see you all today.
Thanks so much, everyone.